What's up, y'all? It's your man, Rahn Hortman with Catherine Maloney. We're here, episode number 2 of Laugh Through. We're here, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How was your weekend?
Oh, man, listen.
Yeah, take a deep breath. Let it all soak in.
It was one of those weekends. I went back home for a funeral.
Oh,
And
I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. The funeral, it went well as can be. Got to hang out with my family, my father, and did all that whole thing. But when I was coming back to the airport. They kind of did some construction, so I missed my turn, which caused me to be about 5-10 minutes later than I wanted to be. And when I got to turn the car in, I missed that turn.
No.
So I had to go back out, go back in to get the car there. So I'm rushing, and I had to run to the counter to check in. I'm from Florida now, so I may or may not carry a Florida thing with me sometime. So
Okay.
I had to check it in at the airport counter. So it's about 6:15, and my flight's at 7. So I'm checking my bag in.
You're cutting it close.
And the lady said, "You have to open that." And I was like, "Open it for what?" Because it has 2 locks on it. And she said, you just have to open it. We have to see it. I'm like, all right, because normally you check it in and they take it and they x-ray it and they take it to the plane. So I'm fine. I open it up and she sees the ammunition in the magazine. It's not loaded. The magazine is next to the firearm in the case. She said, "You can't have the bullets in there. You have to take those out." I said, "What do you mean? What am I gonna do with them? I came here like this. I flew this flight here." She said, "No, you have to take them out and you have to go to the sheriff's department.
No way.
And it's outside the door and up the street."
You're never going to make this.
I'm not gonna make my flight. And the other lady said, "Well, we'll still check it in. You just take the ammunition and give it to the sheriffs." So I'm like, oh my God. So I flick them out, we lock it up, they give me my thing, and I run as fast as I can to the sheriff's station. They're closed. I have to ring the bell, and I'm buzzing, and they looking at me like I'm crazy. They come let me in. I'm like, "Hey man, they told me I gotta give you these." And they're like, whoa. I'm like, no. I'm like, they told me I gotta give them to you. So he put on gloves and like, all right. I'm like, I don't understand. I flew here with it. And he said, "Yeah, we're just kind of weird here. This is a weird airport."
Okay, so it's airport to airport.
Apparently.
Out of Florida, they're like, we don't care what you do.
We don't care. Just get it
But
and go.
leaving that airport, they care.
They cared. So he took it, and I ran back to the airport. So I'm running upstairs. And now it's like 6:30.
Oh my. And your flight's at 6:45.
My flight's at 7.
Oh, 7.
They close the doors at 6:45.
Okay.
So it's like 50 people deep.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it.
What did you do?
And I had a show that night.
No. So if you don't make this, it's done.
I missed the show. So
You don't want to make that call.
I'm just like, oh my God. I make it through at 6:44. Now I'm running. And this lady said, "Are you trying to catch the flight to Charlotte?" I said, yeah. She said, "I'm on the radio and tell them you're coming." So I'm running. I'm running as fast as I can. I'm running past this dude. He got on one of those character outfits, jogging suits. He's just walking slow. And I'm running past him, barely breathing, and I make it.
Oh my gosh.
I sit down and I'm breathing, and they call one more name or whatever. They said, "We'll give it another minute or so." And it was the dude that was walking.
It was the slow guy?
Yeah, he made it. He walked. I could have walked. So I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, man, something ain't right.
What happened?
I feel discombobulated. So we take off. We land in Charlotte because I'm waiting for my layover. My phone goes off. It's the rental car company. They asked me if I had the key. I have the key to the rental car. I'm like, oh my God. I said, can I just leave it in Tampa? They said, no, you have to FedEx it, you have to overnight it, or we're going to charge you $500. So I'm like, well, I apologize, but I'll FedEx it. So this morning, I FedExed it, and I sent the tracking number to the number that texted me. And right when I was coming to meet with you, I got an email that Mr. Hortman, you still haven't turned in the car that was supposed to be there on the 6th.
What?
Do you want to extend it? Or do... I'm like, whoa, I turned in the car. So I had to email them. I emailed them the conversation. I emailed them the receipt of the FedEx. So right now, I may or may not be paying like $1,000 for Kia that I didn't return, that I returned at the airport because I stole the keys.
Everything's going to work out.
Yeah.
But that's right before the podcast.
Yeah.
Like
right
literally.
now.
Yeah.
This is real time.
But that's what it's always like.
Always.
And that's what the audience will learn is just how crazy it is every single day. And, you think, oh, I'm going to go up. And yes, you had to go to a funeral. But sometimes this happens when we're going out of town for a show. It's just like, it feels like you're in a sitcom.
Yeah.
Where you're like, this is got to be a joke. That for them to be like, oh yeah, you just got to go down to the sheriff's office on a Sunday.
On a Sunday.
Which they know the schedule. They know they're on limited hours. Like, oh my.
It's crazy.
I can't believe you made it though.
Man, I thank God I made it, but
But the guy in the character costume was like lollygagging.
Man, he was just chilling, and I was like, see, he got the right idea about life. Don't stress.
Don't stress.
Don't stress.
The car will be found. The key will be received.
The car is there.
Oh, okay. So
I think the person that texts me is driving around in the car.
Oh, I hope not.
Because they have a spare key.
Totally.
They have to have a spare key.
They have to have a spare key.
And so they trying to hustle me. And
maybe.
That's why I sent all, as the young folks say, I sent the receipts.
That's right. Keep the receipts.
Do you know people say, hey man, how you doing? Or what's going on? If I tell them the truth, they'd be like, man, this dude got bad luck.
Yeah.
So I would just say, hey, I'm doing all right. Because something is always happening.
Popping. Yeah. Do you feel like when things are going well, like that eerie feeling of like, oh no. But they tell us not to do that, right? We're supposed to think positive. That's why I pray every day now. Every time I get frustrated, I literally pray. It's a new version of me. It's either that or I'm gonna snap. So I feel if I'm doing that, it's better than any alternative.
Yeah, prayer is wonderful, man.
Right?
If
I would have been praying out loud as I was screaming, running down the corridor of the airport. As soon as they were like, "You have to bring this to the sheriff's department," I'd be like, "My heavenly Father."
It was one of those points where you go somewhere and somebody you work with, they overdo the job.
Oh, like come on.
Well, technically, policy states that don't nobody care. We all do it. I'm like,
dude,
lady,
you're obviously the D team if you're working a Sunday shift. So let's calm down. All right, you're not
holiday
gonna get
weekend too.
You're not getting your promotion with this transaction. All right, calm down. Sometimes they are a little too much.
And I just felt I was like, I can't argue with her because then I'm gonna really miss the flight.
Forget it.
So.
What's the plan? How do I facilitate this goal of yours since you're really being particular?
I couldn't believe it, man.
She probably was so proud of herself. She's like, see how I got that guy to go to the sheriff's department on a Sunday when his flight's in 30 minutes? Winning.
It was.
I hope you get your 15-cent increase.
I was like,
man, you earned it.
Is she trying to set me up? What is going on? I just felt so...
Can you imagine though, like you have no context. It's a Sunday morning or afternoon.
Yes.
Okay. You're sitting in the sheriff's department. Nothing's ever happening, right? At that time.
No.
So you're just like dilly-dallying and messing on your phone. And then all of a sudden, this guy starts ringing the bell frantic and then just like tries to throw bullets at you.
Yeah, come on in. We got you. Yeah, bring the bullets in here. Come over here. Yeah, all the way over
Do
here.
you have your photo ID?
That's exactly how it felt.
Yeah.
That's how my day started.
Oh yeah, they called us about you.
Yeah.
They let us know you were on your way. Like it does feel unnerving that you had to go do that. I would have been like, you can't throw them out in the garbage. Like that's dangerous. So there's like no other option.
So I just don't understand what's the point of traveling with it if you can't travel
with bullets.
Right.
What are you supposed to buy bullets like
every
on
time
consignment? That'd be a good, actually, that's not a bad business idea, right? You have like bullet consignment, like you get like, I don't know who sells all the bullets, Walmart. And it's like, you could you used to be able to do that at Cracker Barrel before audio books and stuff. You'd be able to rent the book and then bring it back and they would just charge you like, you know, like $7 to rent the book, but rent your bullets. RentYourBullets.com with Catherine and Ron.
If you're traveling and you need bullets.
And you don't want to have to go to the sheriff's department 30 minutes before your flight.
If you want to pull it, we got your bullets.
That's good.
Oh,
yeah, July 4th special. Did you see that guy who blew up fireworks on his hat? He was a dad. It was so sad. He was trying to show off, and he had this Uncle Sam's costume on with the big hat and everything. He put the fireworks on his hat. It went off, and he died instantly.
What kind of fireworks did he have?
I don't know, but something that was not supposed to go on your head after you lit it.
I told you last episode that I'm scared of fireworks because of my brother.
I just shared this. Like literally, they have footage of him like dancing and having a great old time right before it went off.
Oh, that's sad.
I know, the whole family. So yeah, there's just like, I think people become desensitized with like how dangerous things are.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because they're like, I saw it on the internet. And they're just like doing silly stuff. And then that's just a horrible tragedy. So
it was probably a TikTok challenge or
it
something.
probably was.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it got shut down.
That's crazy.
I know.
Sorry to hear that.
I know. It's a bummer. But it's a callback to our last episode. I mean, it's no Hook story. But
yeah.
we do live in Pasco County, Florida.
That's where it happened?
No. I don't know where it happened, actually. I think it was in California. I don't know. I should look it up. I shouldn't be throwing out states like that.
So you know what just happened, though? They just ruined the 4th of July for their family forever now.
You would think that.
Yeah.
But people are pretty resilient. They bounce back pretty fast.
Like, you know, like if somebody in your family dies and something was their favorite song, whenever you hear it, you don't. So every 4th of July, when they see fireworks.
Definitely.
Or if they see an Uncle Sam suit.
Yeah. Flashbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah. I know I'm going to think about him, and I'm not even in the family. But anytime I see somebody in that kind of costume with fireworks and stuff, I'm going to think, I feel like I should go tell them something. But then again, imagine some random woman, did you hear about that guy? They'll be like, shut up, lady. Now I'm going to do it just to prove you wrong.
What do fireworks represent? Like
Independence. That was the whole thing.
I know, but is it like the shots from the war? Or like all, you know, like cannons?
Well, yeah, because that's the Star Spangled Banner, right? And the rockets.
So that's
Red
so it's the rockets and the ammunition, the bombs
bursting in air.
So that's what the fireworks are.
I guess. I mean, it was like, did you see in LA they just outlawed fireworks and they had a police helicopter like, you know, gonna pounce on them like it's like someone drinking a beer at the beach. And so they're up there like, and you just see everybody shooting off fireworks and the helicopter's just like flying around, like doesn't know where to settle first. It's like, it's so funny how in New York you can't have fireworks. That was like a big deal. Like you'd have to someone would have to go up to like North Carolina and then smuggle them in like the back of a trunk. That's how I remembered all of our fireworks transactions going as a child. Was a sketchy deal in a back alley, so literally with a blanket over them.
Fireworks are illegal
in New York.
In New York,
you cannot. And right now, I think they have designated days where they'll have like a firework display, but it's all professionally done. But no, you are not allowed to have fireworks.
Wow, I never knew that.
And it's like really strict. But I mean, you know,
it's New York, though.
Yeah, it's like, come on. It just seems so silly to me that they're like, listen, this is the land of the free, and we're going to celebrate our independence, but you can't do any of that. You know what I mean? We're going to tell you exactly how to celebrate it, and it is not that way. And so it's just so funny to me. So, whatever. In Florida, it's like 24/7. There's a tent somewhere on some strip mall you can pick up fireworks. So
it's bigger than Christmas in Florida. Like every
Absolutely.
corner, you can get fireworks.
yeah. But it's not just for July 4th.
All the time.
It's every holiday.
Yep.
There's a tent up.
I saw fireworks on Father's Day this year. I really did.
I mean, that's pretty impressive.
It is. We don't just get socks no more. They do fireworks for us now.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna pick a holiday to explode things, it's Father's Day, right? Like you guys are into exploding things and destruction and violence. And no?
No.
Guys aren't into all that.
Oh, no.
You're not into craziness.
Those are the women that we choose.
Okay. Well,
You know.
keep talking like that. I just left eye just like it's popping in my head.
See?
See? Well, we've got the ability. We don't want to do these things,
So then why do y'all do it?
because we're so good at it. You have to understand we all have talents. You know what I mean? So
See, like, I'm just going to use my wife for an example. Every morning,
mm-hmm.
she gets upset at me if I ask her questions. Like, that's her thing in the morning. I'm like, hey, what time is it? Why are you always asking me questions every morning? Like,
I wonder what
Good
the
morning to
average
you.
amount of questions a mother and wife receives on a daily basis. So as a mom, I could tell you, there's just certain times that I don't want any, and I'll say to my daughter, I'll be like, listen, don't open your mouth. Like, just leave me alone, no questions, figure it out, give me 30 minutes to get my head clear. Because sometimes we have all the residual questions that were from the day before riding around in our heads.
because you're the mom.
Yeah, I know.
So you have to answer the questions.
I know, but sometimes we don't want them all the time. I mean, we're still people. Just because we're mom and wife doesn't mean that we're not a person.
I'm not saying that, but
Okay.
I'm saying this. Okay, so listen. We ask you questions, and you say, hey, go kill that spider.
Yeah.
A lot of times we scared of spiders.
I do all the bug removal and I don't kill them. I take them on a napkin. I'm not kidding. And I release them. But I just learned recently that like every spider you've ever put outside has died because it's an indoor spider. So I'm like assisted
told you that?
suicide. The internet.
Those are lies.
But I always heard from my mom that killing spiders in the house was bad luck for money. So I always had that superstition in my head. So whenever I clean, like I had a big tub at one point, and I had that big tub, and I'd have shower spiders or little ones that, because you don't clean. I don't clean it all the time if I'm not using it. I'm a dirtbag. Anyway, so I would have the little shower spiders, and I would get a napkin and put it in the linen closet, and I would just like move them off to the side because I didn't want them to die. You don't do that?
Catherine, first of all, I was an exterminator. All right.
Oh, I forgot. That's your bread and butter.
Second of all,
Sorry.
when you put a spider outside, where do you think he came from?
I guess outside. That's what I always thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you put him outside, and he just came right back in.
That's fine. I'm fine about that. I'm fine about seeing spiders. I don't, as long as it doesn't look like it's like some of them look really scary, but for the most part, I'm like, hey, you're fine.
What about those big?
I mean, those
Palmetto
the palmetto bugs,
Yeah.
they frighten me half to death because they can fly at
They
you.
can fly.
Do you know what I'm saying?
They can fly.
Because like roaches in New York, they're the little German ones. And if you see one of those, you got like 10,000 in the walls for everyone you see. So if you see a couple, like just burn the whole place down. But for palmetto bugs, if you see one, it could be random and it doesn't mean you have an infestation. But those things are so big that it's like it has a social security number. Like it's on the grid. You know what I mean? Like it has
Yeah.
a soul. If you look at it long enough, you could feel it go, not me. I have kids at home. Like, and I don't like the weight of killing that kind of bug on me. And I've watched Animal Planet about like Mythbusters. And the only way you can actually kill a cockroach is literally to smash its head in and to flush it down the toilet because it can eat through plastic. And if you don't kill its head, it can come through the pipe.
I'm a professional, and I'll tell you that
I've done a lot of research.
those are myths, Catherine.
What do you mean? What am I wrong about? Tell me.
So first of all, they are pretty big. They're huge. They look like they walk in and be like, "Hey, you gonna eat that?" That's they are huge. But the palmetto bugs, they're actually easier to control than the German ones.
Exactly.
But the German ones reproduce so fast, they get it in. But you can kill them with you don't want, well, it's still poison. They got this little bait stuff to put out. They eat it and then they go back.
They take it back to their people.
And then when they defecate, the other roaches eat that because they like to be around it, and then it spreads like a virus.
Okay.
And then you kill them.
Okay.
Yeah. If you step on them, they dead. They're not gonna come back. You ain't gotta go off with their head and flush them.
I'm telling you, man, the palmetto ones. they tested it. They had like super thick black garbage bags, and they put them in there, and then they put them in the dumpster, and these roaches ate through this really thick industrial garbage bag and was like, "What's next?"
No,
like
they eat paper. They eat almost anything. And
cut
a lot
the
of
heads
people
off
don't know
and
this.
flush them down the toilet.
I'm not trying to scare anybody, but they bite.
Yeah,
They bite.
they do.
They will.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm not messing with them.
See, now you're gonna have me talking about pest control.
Sorry,
stuff.
I know.
I've been in houses so bad that you can smell them.
Yeah.
When you walk in. Like,
I could smell
you can walk
it
in and it's like
right away.
They got roaches. Yeah.
It's a distinctive smell.
It's crazy. Yeah.
And once you have it in your Rolodex of scents, you'll never not smell it. Other people, like, you ever walk into something and you smell it, but like you're with people that have never smelled it before, and they're like, "What is that peculiar odor?" And I'm like, "This place is infested." Put your purse in your car and tuck your socks over your pants and try to get out of here.
You have some fancy friends. Peculiar smell.
That's a peculiar odor.
And now for a commercial break. If you have roaches or mice, call Get Rid Pest Control at 414-360.
This is all a cover for your exterminating business.
GetRidPestControl.com. You can schedule an appointment and somebody will be there to service you. Yeah. Oh,
Don't do it on your own.
oh my God.
Let us give you a hand. Yeah, for sure. I grew up in a place that literally they called the Roach Motel. It got condemned after we moved.
Son.
Yeah, it was bad. That's why people were like, "Man, how bad could it be?" I'm like, it was bad. Like they were in the refrigerator.
I've seen that.
In the refrigerator. Everyone's like, "That's impossible."
No, I've seen that.
No, it isn't.
The worst thing I can remember is I was doing this apartment and it was so bad. Like you could see them in the refrigerator because the seal was messed up.
Yep.
But they had, think of like a plastic bag from the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
And you can hear the roaches crawling through the plastic bags. Like, it freaked me out. I was having nightmares.
Yeah.
I had this reoccurring nightmare that I would be under a kitchen sink and roaches would be just crawling on me and I would wake up. Ah! Yeah. It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah.
Oh.
Today's episode is cockroaches and how to avoid living with them long term. Wow. Well, we said we were going to laugh through all of life's ups and downs, and that had to be one of my worst downs. And that's why, like, my place now, I'm like, that's like would have been a dream when I was a kid, you know?
Yeah.
Just a clean apartment where there's no live bugs. That's why seeing a spider or like beetles or those silverfish that are in, like, I don't get rid of the silverfish even if I see them because they eat other bugs, and so I don't mess with them. If I see if I see more than one, then I will. But if I just see one, I'm like, I just leave it alone. It's doing its job.
I kill everything.
I know you do.
Everything.
We're just yin and yang on this. I'm saving all the animals, and he's got a special this month.
You know why? Because I'm scared that it's gonna crawl on me when I'm asleep.
Oh, that's terrifying. My sister had a bug crawl in her ear and had to go to the hospital over it. It wasn't at that apartment, but it was at another place. And literally after that, I was like, wow, that's your worst nightmare. In your ear, you can...
Dude, I had a moth fly in my ear at Kmart. Swear
That
to God.
is like, it sounds like a fever dream.
No.
That sounds like you just woke up and
dude,
you're like, I had a dream. I was in Kmart and this moth flew in my ear.
This was real. I was wide awake.
Oh my gosh. How old were you?
I was probably 21.
Oh, that's scary.
I was walking by the dog food section. You know, it had those little meal moths flying around, and I did it. I swear it flew in my ear. It was so loud. Like I can't explain it. And you could feel
like you're
it.
in a tunnel.
And I just started screaming like, ah! People running up to me. I said, call 911. Call 911. Just call them. And they called.
Of course.
The paramedics. And I'm in the aisle just screaming because it was so loud. And
I'm sorry to laugh.
You could feel it crawling on. Like, you could still feel it. Like, oh, my God.
Can you imagine if cell phones were a thing? You would have been viral.
I would have went viral, man.
You would have never had to work a day in your life. You would have been the moth and the ear guy at Kmart.
Dude.
Blue light special.
Dude. It flew out when the paramedics came. Like, and I was like, oh, my God.
That's so weird.
And somebody, well, what if it laid eggs in your ear?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you got to have luck.
So I hate
I'd be
bugs.
like, flush down my ear and clean it all out.
Dude, it was horrible.
Pray on it.
It was horrible. Like, that's torture.
Yeah, and that's why you started an extermination business. I don't know if you know the origin story of why you go into business to murder animals and bugs and stuff, but it's
not
that.
murdering. It's not murdering.
Snuffing them out.
No, it's
in their sweet sleep. But anyway, it was in your ear, and I do not shame you for anything.
So right now, we drawing a line. You pro bug is what we saying.
It depends on the bug and how many. But let me tell you something. At the last house that I had, this is how pro bug I am, and this is how insane that, I put your skeletons on the table, laugh through it, right? At the last house, nice house, right? We had some ants. They were outside and they were going through, and I was like, I don't like to kill ants either because they're on the job. And I wish most of us had the, wherewithal that ants have. I mean, they carry a big load. They work until they drop dead. I'm all pro ant. So anyway, I'm like, don't kill them. Eventually, they had gone in, and at night at like 3 a.m, there were so many of them that would go in the front bedroom in the smoke detector that it was setting off the smoke detector.
This is why you have to control them.
I let it go for like another 6 months, right? 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, leave them alone. I'm like, leave the ants alone. Leave them. This house, it literally was probably like one big ant on the inside. Eventually, because they were like, this is going on all the time now, we have to call somebody. The guy came out, he said, and I quote, it was the worst ant infestation that he's ever seen. He was like, this is going to take me like a couple of months. He goes, what made you do this? And I'm like, I'm just pro ant. I like their swag. I like their work ethic. I admire what they do. And I didn't want to take them all out, but eventually we had to. I felt so much guilt.
Catherine,
I'm balancing the score for the bugs. It's you against me.
if you don't control them, they take over.
They will. I didn't care. Now I wish it would have took the whole house and lifted it up and walked it away. I don't care. Bye-bye, house. I could care less. But at the time, I was like, it is inconvenient that the smoke detector's going off at night. That's the only reason why I did it.
So eventually, they started eating all your food.
They weren't in the house. I was like, look, you
they
can
were coming.
stay. I know they were. I know. I'm not dumb. I guess I'm just naive.
That's cute that you.
I'm trying, man.
You want to save insects and animals and birds and.
There was a little gator outside at that house. Like, I say a little gator, like a baby gator, right? Like probably like, I don't know, like 4 foot long, but like little guy. Like the body itself was like a big stuffed animal, but it had all the tail and everything. Anyway, I go to get my car. It's like sitting right there. And I'm like, I call in and I'm like, hey, go get a blanket. He's like, what am I going to do with the blanket? I go, you're going to put it over this baby gator and then you're going to go carry it out to the pond. What do you mean? What are you going to do with the blanket? He was like, Catherine, we cannot pick up a gator and carry it into the pond. I was like, well, you better figure out something. So he got a broom and like shushed it back to the pond. And I was like, you want to work out? You want to act like you're big and tough? Pick up the baby gator. I have high expectations. If you're gonna tell me I can't keep it.
We differ about certain things in life, and that's okay. But wild animals, is where every
That's
episode,
where you draw the line?
So every episode we're gonna see what animal did Catherine save.
I feel like I spent a lot of my animal stories on the last 2 podcasts. I don't know how much more I could bring to the table.
I think you got more in you. I really
to
do.
be continued.
I think you got more in you. You're just that type of person.
I do have a lot of animal stories. I should talk about them on stage.
See, you grew up in New York.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm from Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. In Milwaukee as a kid, when you go outside, you're always running from somebody's dog. Like a loose dog can end friendships because everybody doing what they got to do to get away from the dog. Mm-hmm. You seem like the person like, oh no, come here. Oh, look at the dog. Catherine, run. It's a dog. Come here. What's wrong with you, man?
Yeah, I am that person. Although there was one scary dog that lived in the house, like behind my house, but you'd walk through the little alleyway, so I'd always have to walk past it, and he scared me. Like there was certain, the dogs you can't like try. I'm not dumb where I'm like any dog's my friend, but you don't run from a dog.
Oh no, we run.
You can't. That's why it chases you. You gotta like calm yourself down, which is really hard when your heart's like beating out of your chest because you think you're gonna get eaten by Cujo.
I think a lot of stuff that we learn growing up is like urban legends and folk tales. I remember everybody saying you never run from dogs, right? Mm-hmm. Don't run from dogs. And it was this German Shepherd named King on my cousin's block. And King was, and back when we was growing up, German Shepherds and Dobermans were like the killer dogs. And we all outside playing, and King got out. Everybody ran, Catherine. Guess who didn't run?
You, because you listened.
Because I listened.
And what did it do to you?
And guess what happened to me? This dog, he didn't bite me, but the dog was sniffing me up my butt and just putting his nose all in my hip, and everybody else ran. You. And I'm standing there crying like this dog is supposed to eat me because I didn't run, Catherine. Because I didn't run.
If you were to run, then everyone would have been running. And then who's to say who was the last person? Because that's the that dog was going to go after whoever ran. You didn't. So it was like, who do you think you are? And it started pecking you. You think you could just stand here? But did you get hurt, though? I mean, your feelings got hurt.
My feelings were very hurt.
I know. You were hurt. You're still holding it. I feel it.
I think I may have peed on myself.
I would doubt if you didn't do more than that.
I think I just peed, but everybody say don't run. And I didn't run, and I was the one that got caught.
But you didn't get hurt. And I think if you were in the everybody running pack, that dog would have hurt somebody. I think you saved everybody by listening. You didn't jump off the bridge after all your friends did. Yeah, they all swam to the side and they all got away fine. And you maybe got yelled at because you were at the top of the bridge. But you didn't get hurt. And I also have a German Shepherd and a Doberman Pinscher story. So it's weird that you mentioned those 2 dogs.
Because those were the dogs that were killers when we were growing up.
But my mom did not want to walk me to kindergarten because my sister was born on my first day of kindergarten. So I walked myself to kindergarten.
By yourself?
By myself. And all laugh through. And every dog that I was ever around as a kid would always bite me, right? And so I was like, why does this keep happening, right?
Because you keep trying to save animals.
Maybe they wanted to be alone. So I was probably like 4 or 5 years old, and my mom always talked to me like I was an adult, right? So there was no like baby talk. It was like I don't know if you were raised like that, but they just talked to us like we were people, you know? And so my mom pulled me aside because we were going to go to my uncle's, and she was like, this dog is going to bite her. Like, she's telling everybody, dog's going to bite Catherine. It always bites her. So my mom finally pulls me aside and she goes, do you want to know why the dogs all bite you? Why it's every time we go somewhere? And I was like, what? And she goes, it's because your voice is so annoying.
She's right.
She's like, they don't know what to do, Catherine. And I was like, what? I was like devastated. So this is in my mind, right? So I'm not, my mom's like, go walk to kindergarten. I'm this little kindergartner, right? And I go to walk, and there was 2 paths that you can walk to the school. So like basically my house and the school were like on either ends of this like, like loop. So I go to walk the one way, and the German Shepherd's out. we know this dog, it's in the neighborhood, but it's out. And now I'm thinking to myself, don't say anything because the dog's going to bite you as soon as you say anything. Can't even say, hi, little puppy. Boom, it's on you, right? So I'm like, keep your mouth shut and walk back to the house. So I calmly walk back and knock on the door. My mom's really frustrated. She's like, what? And I'm like, there's the German Shepherd and like I can't talk and like it's going to bite me. And like, could you walk me? No, go walk the other way. Here's an umbrella. And so the second time. So I go and it's Doberman Pinscher. And I go back and I'm like, oh my gosh. And she was like, I gave you the umbrella. And I still walked to school. I don't know which way I went. I think I blocked it out. But
Did you get bit?
I didn't. I did not yell. I did not speak. And I just walked calmly. Because it is the trick, I think. If you were to run, I'm telling you would be telling a different story.
Yeah, they'd chase you if you run.
You probably own a zoo or something now.
But I never. If a dog is out, I'm not fit to sit there.
No.
I'm running. I'm jumping on the car. I'm doing something. I'm not just gonna stand there.
Well, you didn't say there was a car involved. If you could get high, like higher elevation, yeah, that's gonna help you.
That's gonna help me, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you got a dog that knows how to jump. I mean, it's just on top of a hood of, I don't know, dude. You're rolling the dice.
I'm not standing there and waiting for a dog to decide if it wants to bite me. I'm not. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I'm pretty fast. I can get away.
Okay.
So from there on out, I ran, and I did fine.
How many dogs have been chasing you your whole life?
Well, there were a lot of dogs in the neighborhood, so it was a few times.
It is scary, though, when you're like walking and you see some random dog. Like,
yeah.
Oh, it's so scary because you don't know.
Now that's one thing now that I'm older, like when you go to these ports in these these Caribbean islands, it's just random dogs walking around. And I got to tell them, don't run, Ron. You're a grown man now. Just everybody else walking by, you can walk by.
Yeah. Those are like the neighborhood dogs. Like they go there for the tourists. My friend was having her wedding in the Dominican Republic, and this random stray dog like walked up. It's like sounds like a movie or something. They were literally about to get married, and the dog came up and was like limping, and they stopped the thing. And they got married. They took the dog to the vet. They saved the dog, and they brought it back from their wedding from the Dominican Republic. It's crazy. So I'm surrounded by these people.
This is like an after-school special.
I know. I was like, his name is August because they got married in August. It's like a Lifetime movie.
Oh my God!
I know.
Your friends are amazing.
That's crazy. I was like, what?
If my friends was getting married, maybe Get this dog is ruining my wedding.
Get it out of the pictures. True. Yeah, it shows you she wasn't like a bridezilla. Oh. She like stopped everything for this dog, and then they saved it, and it was their dog. I met August when I went to visit a couple of years ago, and
it's very sweet.
I know, very nice.
I do love dogs, by the way, just not random dogs or other people's dogs, because I know my dogs. I just don't know your dog, and
true.
Your dog might I've seen dogs that just don't like certain people and for no reason, and I'm like, man, what's wrong? And they say, oh, he never acts like that. Like,
yeah, I get that a lot.
He's acting like that now.
When I was a kid, my mom was like, it's your voice. Yeah, so I get it. Yeah, what about cats though?
I really hate cats.
But do you have a cat?
Because I was forced by my family. So I've learned to adapt to. So here's the thing with the cat though. We got this cat now, and every day he try to get out. Like, he don't like us like that. He don't want to be here. And she chased the cat, he get out, she chases him, bring him back in. And every day, that's what he does. He's trying to figure a way to escape. So let him go live his life.
Will he come back?
Who knows?
He's never left at all and came back, or you've had to chase him down?
The other cat left and will come back. But after about a year of trying to escape, he finally got out. And I was like, well, he's gone. But then he came back. And so he kept doing that, and that was his thing. He ended up training us. Every morning, we let him out. Every night, we let him out, and he'd come back every morning to sleep, and then he'd go back out. Like
you letting your cat run the streets at night?
Hey, he was a thug.
Wow.
But
He's like, I'm a night owl. What can I say?
But what happened is one night he just never came back.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, so I think he was old though.
Okay.
And that's the cat that Brian Sawin he went behind my back and told Ty that he had a kitten if she wanted it. Yeah. He's one of my best friends.
It's always
Went
the ones
behind
you
my
love.
back and told my wife about this cat, and we got the cat, and we had him for I'll say probably about 7 or 8 years, and then he never came back. I think he got killed out there on them streets.
You think?
Yeah.
I like to think that maybe somebody like me was like, you poor little kitty, out here every night, running the streets. You must not have a home to go to. I'll take you. I'll take you forever. Maybe.
Probably could be.
Maybe.
Could
maybe
be.
he was like,
Could be.
maybe I'm done with these streets. Maybe it's time I settle down.
Could be.
And
Could.
it
That's
was
a possibility.
Like some white lady that puts a sweater on him.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Definitely a white lady.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Different sweater for every holiday, you know?
But see, he really wasn't about that.
Maybe if you fall for the right chick, you'll go for anything. That's
Facts.
Come on.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
There's men out there
Facts.
that are like, I would have never thought I was going to do this, that, and the other thing, but I love her.
Yeah, I know a dude that he was a straight up thug. Now he play pickleball. You know what I mean? So that's facts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like you can't be a thug at the pickleball course.
I mean, you can.
That'd
Hit
be a
this
good
ball
video.
in your face. Before I forget, we got to give a shout out to our DJ,
Yay!
Marlon Gordon.
What's up, y'all? I'm back here hanging out, dying laughing. You guys are killing it.
We're like the worst at this, and it's we're working it out. We need to be more inclusive.
Yeah, this is our Dr. Dre.
Yes.
Back here mixing up beats, but not
Thank
really.
God for Marlon.
Yeah, quick backstory about Marlon. I'm not gonna give all particulars, but he's been one of those friends that have been so supportive and try to push you to the point. Like it was almost like he fake hyping me up. Like I'm like, dude, really can't feel this way. Like, come on, man, let's do it. I got you. Let's do it. Yeah, it's great. Like,
You're like, what's the
catch?
Yeah.
But he really likes helping. That's his gift, and we here right now.
I know.
Because of Dr. Dre / Marlon.
Yeah,
So,
but I wasn't faking it. Look at you. Look at you now.
Look at me.
Look at you now.
Hey, I wore my Jodeci. You know, I pulled it out because we supposed to do it, Catherine.
I know.
We here. We here right now.
I'm so excited.
Listen, man, this is like it's almost like a dream, you know, when you finally meet the right pieces of the puzzle to put something together that's great. And I think this is the beginning of something great.
Oh, definitely. Well, we have so many stories. Once we get past all the animal stories
I don't
and
think we're ever
whatever
going to
else,
be done with that.
No, probably not. But
As a woman, the nurturing thing, that's really a part of y'all, ain't it?
it is part of my DNA. Like I've always wanted a child, and I've always been a caretaker and babysitter and a nanny and all that stuff. So yeah, even when I do stuff with the comics, I feel like I'm like the mom comic. Baking, I baked a lot in the beginning. That's how I got a lot of
I ain't gonna
my
lie.
gigs.
At first, I was like, "Oh, she bringing them cupcakes. She didn't bring us no cupcakes."
I didn't.
Yeah.
It was for the servers in the kitchen and everyone in the box office. And yeah, if you take care of the staff, because you never know who's
Yep.
going to be in what position. It could
Yep.
be the food runner one day, and then it's the night manager who's doing all the booking for the local gigs.
Yep.
Be nice to everybody, because they one day will be your boss.
Yesterday, so me and Steve Miller, shout out to Steve Miller. You know, he did McCurdy's with me.
I love Steve Miller.
And so we were tipping the staff. Mm-hmm. So I had one non-alcoholic beer. I quit drinking in December. I just do it to look like an adult. And so I think I tipped like $5 or something, right? Steve tipped $20.
Because he's a baller.
I was like, man, how you gonna do my tip like that? He's like, well, step your game up there, Ron. So I took the $5 back, and then I put down a $20, and we laughed. And then I took the 20 back and I put the 5 because I got all these kids. And
You're like, I want to be a baller.
Yeah, but you know, you do have to take care of those people. And
you always have to
they
tip.
appreciate it.
And they talk.
They appreciate it. They do.
They talk.
They do.
As much as you're doing it to be the right kind of person. But the thing is, at the end of the weekend, when the manager says, how was everything?
Yep.
They chit chat.
Yep.
Oh, Steve Miller dropped me 20. Ron only dropped me 5, but we love Ron.
Yeah.
He's so funny. He's such a good. No, but they do.
He's poor. We know he's poor.
We know he has children and grandchildren, so it's okay, you know. But I know I'll have some bartenders that'll shout out specific comics that do not tip at all. Not even $1. Like if you're broke, if you're at an open mic, my rule of thumb is $1 a drink. If I'm at like a showcase or something like that, if I'm the headliner, it's a different tier than if I'm just dropping in to do a set.
So me, I look at it like if I'm walking over, because they didn't come serve me. If I walk over to get my own thing and all that, he just handed me the drink. So I think $5 or $10 is sufficient. Now, if all weekend you bringing me food and you doing all that and all, then I give a little. When my money get right, I'm gonna give a lot more. But
because it does add up. Like if you
so,
do like 4 nights and you're doing $10 a night, let's say that's $40, and it's like you drove there, you paid for parking, you still want to tip though.
Yeah,
like
you have to
it's
tip.
Even if you don't have the baller money like other people, you
have
can
to tip.
still tip them, and it gets better. You know what I mean? That's why it's a bake. Because I'd be able to spend like $5 on the bakings, like make 24 cupcakes for less than $5, or brownies or whatever. And it's like I took care of everybody.
That's dope.
You know?
Do you tip? Like, say you go to pick up a pizza, and then you give them the card, and then they turn it around. Like, do you tip those people?
It's a sliding scale. It depends. If I know the kid, then I always tip, because adults did that for me when I was a kid growing up. If I worked at the pizzeria and they came in, they made sure they took care of me. So I try to pay that part forward. If it's a big order and it's a busy night, I will throw, like, if I get a big dinner or whatever and it's a Friday or Saturday night and it's like peak hours and I could see them scrambling, sometimes I'll throw like $5. But if they show me the pin pad and I have to walk up to the counter and do it, it's really hard for me to tip.
That's so weird. Now,
it's very hard. I still fall victim to it. I usually do custom tip $1.
If they deliver it, then I tip. I tip. I had to tip.
You got it.
But if they just ringing it out.
I know. Listen, I'm the one that's not killing ants. You think I'm not tipping these kids? Or these people, especially if I see somebody super old at like Taco Bell and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's going to be me one day. I'm going to throw them $1 or $2.
You tip at Taco Bell?
I tip almost every. I was a server for 8 years, and I try not to tip the people all the time. But I feel like if I tip the one by us on 54, they'll usually like throw me a drink or something. Like sometimes, like it depends on the time and who it is. If it's a manager and they see me a lot, because I love Taco Bell. Marlon, do you like Taco Bell?
I actually dislike Taco Bell a lot.
Really?
I shouldn't say that because we've done work for them, but it's not my spot. I mean,
oh, man, it is consistently my jam. I get every new thing off the menu. I'm gonna try the Cheez-It tostada.
The only junk food that I will eat is Burger King. That's it.
Burger King did a marketing thing. I don't know what year it was. Did you see this?
No,
it
I
was
didn't.
about how their Whopper molds, because like there's a running thing about how McDonald's stuff doesn't like mold or like have any decomposition. So they put the Whopper and they did this whole thing to show it like literally like turning bad.
But that's a good thing.
It's a great thing so that they don't use all these preservatives and GMOs and stuff. And it made the purchasing of Whoppers like dramatically increase. It was the best thing they could do. So I'm a huge fan. I think it always tastes really good. I feel like the vegetables are fresh.
One of my first jobs was at Burger King.
Really?
Yes.
I tried to get a job there. They wouldn't hire me.
Oh,
It could have been my first job.
McDonald's never rocked with me. They never did. Burger King put me on staff, and I can still make a Whopper to this day and fold it up, slide it down. That's how.
You should make them at home. You should do like a night where you make like,
Whoppers?
Yeah.
I could do that.
You should. It'd probably be so good. Nostalgia.
Ty worked at Burger King too.
Is that where you guys met?
No.
Okay.
No.
I was like,
Wait.
that's a sweet love story.
No. You gonna drop them fries?
Yeah. There was more than one onion ring in my bag. That's how I knew.
and she worked there when they had got fancy. Do you remember there was a time you could go to Burger King and you could order a shrimp basket?
I do.
And they had to wear like these little bow tie things and all that. I'll never forget that.
That was her time.
That was her time.
Wow.
Yeah. I was right before that, and I can make a Whopper. I can make a Whopper fast.
They're good.
Yeah.
Now I'm in the mood for a Whopper. I'm starving. So if you hear my stomach growling, it was like I'm at the age, right? You got to do the math on when you eat and when you.
Yeah. You got to space it out.
Yeah, you got to make sure you don't get caught up.
So I think we need to reach out to Burger King for a sponsor.
Yeah.
Because we're all on agreement that we love
Delicious.
Burger King.
Yeah. I'm telling you, all these fast food places go on to their apps and go into like deals, and it's like highway robbery. You'll be like, how am I not spending $20 on this family pack? It's crazy.
I've never done that.
Do it for everything. Taco Bell, Burger King. Those are two of my favorites. Culver's kids meals. You can upgrade that thing all day. You can get yourself a root beer float, pretzel bites with cheese. Like, I'm starving, Marlon. I am starving. It's saving animals and burger descriptions. That's what we're getting out of here. The
only app I have with food is Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A.
Because you get the points.
Yeah. It was a point where I was going to Chick-fil-A too much, so I've toned it back a lot. I had 99% of the time it's always good. Mm-hmm. I went to the one over here by us, and my bread was hard. It was like I was like, oh, this ain't the Chick-fil-A I know. So I called before I went back because I took it home, and they refused to give me a refund or refused to remake it, and I ain't been back in a while.
I know where the guy lives that owns it. He was my neighbor.
Let's go to his house.
I know exactly where.
Let's go to his house.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Your garage is always open too, buddy.
Let's go to his house.
Yeah.
And let's have a conversation.
It's a very understated house. That's what's like you wouldn't think this is the guy that's printing money at the Chick-fil-A because that place prints money. So for them not to just be like, next time you come in,
thank you.
Just let us know and we'll remake it. And it's no big deal.
I was so upset by it. Like, just take my money and not.
And too bad.
Yeah.
Too bad, too sad.
And it had to be the manager that was.
They're like 15 years old. Have you been to that Chick-fil-A?
Yeah.
It's literally all teenagers running it. There's maybe one or two adults. I'm talking people over 25 in the building at any given time. And it's few and far between. It's usually, they run those places like a well-oiled machine. So I'm shocked that you had a bad sandwich because it really shouldn't have fallen through the cracks like that. You could feel it, the bread.
It's usually perfect.
Perfect.
Usually. But
textbook.
That day, I was so upset. And it ruined my day. Mm-hmm. Because when stuff like that happens, I feel like, you ain't going to take my money and not put up a fight. Don't nobody laugh at me. But I think I disputed it with the bank.
You should.
I did, and I got my money back.
I would have disputed it with my bank, and I would have called the corporate for Chick-fil-A because that's a franchise. I would have called the corporate office, and I would have said, just so you're aware of how your franchisees and their management staff is handling the scenario, but this is what it is, and there's a PDQ across the street, and there's a Huey Magoo's down the road. So, your move.
Oh, she
there's plenty of chicken
level.
Options.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, I can speak Karen.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? I try
Fluently.
not. Yeah.
You went full Karen. Like,
full. Don't make me call.
Effortlessly. Like, you should have called corporate. I was like, that's an option?
Yeah,
like,
you call corporate. You'll wait
Wow.
like 25 minutes. If you email them, now there's a paper trail of it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
she's good.
So
She's
I don't call corporate anymore. I go on TikTok. No,
Perfect.
not TikTok.
Any
I go on
social
Twitter.
media.
I go on Twitter and I send them a
Ooh.
message, and
Yep.
they will do what you want, when you want, how you want it done.
ooh.
Immediately. That's a
Yep.
great point, because that's what I did when I used to use Twitter, and that's what I would do. I would just do at Chick-fil-A, and I would say the little thing. Before 15 seconds would hit, you'd see a comment, sorry about your experience, we're in your DMs. And they would DM you directly, and then they'd be like, here. And basically what they're going to do is they're going to send you a gift certificate. I mean, it's like money laundering to them. You know what I mean? It's like we fix our mistake with our money. Like, it's 2 seconds. It's not like they're giving you $25 cash where you can go to PDQ. You're using it in-house.
So
Great point, Marlon.
Do they delete your tweet after you do it, or do they leave it in their feed?
Ooh,
It's
I've
your
never checked.
tweet.
I know, but I'm just saying. But if you at them, then it's public, right? So it's
Yeah.
not private. So after they fix the problem, do they delete it?
They normally comment back and say, thanks for reaching out. We took care of your issue, something like that. Just because they want the world to know that, hey,
That
I
they're on
saw
top
your
of it.
problem. We're on top of it. We took care of it.
Ooh.
And then all the other stuff is discussed privately. So it's up to you whether or not you remove it.
Guess who getting a tweet tonight? Huh? Guess.
Guess who's getting a new chicken sandwich?
Yeah.
I mean, at least you're going to get what you paid for.
Yeah, and I didn't want nothing crazy. I might tell them it was a deluxe now, but that's
It's
just
going to
because
be
I had
after
to wait.
this.
Yeah,
That's your thing.
I had
That's
to
your
wait.
pain and suffering is now you get the deluxe.
And
I
I
know
had
it-
cheddar cheese on it too, sharp cheddar.
Delicious.
Oh my God,
Have you had PDQ's buffalo chicken sandwich?
I've never eaten PDQ.
Have you had it?
I have had it. It's delicious.
It's like my favorite buffalo chicken sandwich. They do 2 tenders and they dip it in the sauce, and then they put it on this, like, it's kind of like a Chick-fil-A bun where it's like soft and it's got like the butter. And it's the simplest, most delicious like chicken sandwich. Like, it's my favorite. If I'm in the mood for one, that's where I go.
They're the only ones that rival Chick-fil-A. I'm sorry, but they're the only ones that come close because of that. But Chick-fil-A has the sauce, though. I mean, how do you beat Chick-fil-A sauce?
Chick-fil-A.
But you can get all those sauces at Publix now. They sell them in the dressing aisle.
Imagine
So-
if you went to Publix, got the Chick-fil-A sauce, and took the sauce and then put it on your PDQ sandwich.
do it.
I gotta try it. I know I've eaten that new place, Huey Magoo.
Delicious.
Dude,
It's so good.
I called somebody like, hey man, you got to try this Huey Magoo. They was like, what? But no, Huey Magoo. Trust me, man. You ain't Huey Magoo. No, listen, brother, listen. It's chicken and it's delicious.
It's so good.
It's good.
And you can get it dipped too. Like, if you like the sauce so much, they'll dip them for you. You can get them.
What?
Yeah, you can get them like naked, just fried. You can get them grilled. Kaylee gets the Huey Magoo wrap, and it is delicious. They have their Magoo sauce on it, and they make their potato chips hand cut, and they're like those homemade ones. And they got a good cookie too, double chocolate chip.
See, now I'm hungry.
I know, we're gonna eat after this. We should eat way before we tape because it's just food and animals.
Have you guys had Big Chicken?
No.
So Big Chicken is owned by Shaquille O'Neal, and you can get a chicken sandwich inside of a donut, 2 donuts. Blows your mind.
That
Delicious.
sounds so good.
What?
Yeah, Big
It's
Chicken.
like a glazed donut, right?
Yeah, glazed donut. Look it up.
Where's Big Chicken at?
I went to one in Chicago, but I think they might be building one here.
I was gonna say there's got to be one in Orlando because he's an Orlando guy because of the Magic, and his compound used to be out there. So
So when you go to Big Chicken, what's the name of the chicken sandwich? Can I get 3 big chickens? What do you do?
I don't know.
3 shacks,
I want
extra
Shaquille
cheese.
O'Neal's.
Yeah.
Can I get 1 big chicken, 2 biggie chickens, and
Yeah.
and 1 bigger chicken?
I hope it's good when I try it because you hype it up when it's got a name attached to it. You're really rooting for them, So
Do you know the bad thing about when you eat some place that's good? Like when I first ate Huey Magoo, I'm like, oh my God, it's so good. Then you go back again, and
pressure.
you're like, oh my God, it's so good. Then you go back the 3rd time, and it wasn't as good as the other 2 times. Then you kind of like, ah, man.
So I took economics as my minor, and that's called the law of diminishing return.
Ah.
It's never going to be as good as the first time you had it. Even the second time feels better than the first time because it's like, yes, I was right. It's confirmation.
Yes.
And then by the
Yes.
3rd time, you're like, maybe it's not that good. Why did I tell everybody about it? But it is that good. You're just desensitizing yourself.
the law of diminishing returns.
Yeah.
So you're going to learn something on this podcast, too.
You will.
Yeah.
I will make those, college degrees count in some
Come on
way.
now. Did you ever think that you went to college to be sitting here at a table with Ron Hortman? Oh, I'm so sorry.
I took all the right turns. Are you kidding me? This is it. This is the peak of everything. I had a busy day today. We were gonna talk about it in the car, and I said, no, we'll talk about it. I officially paid for Kayla's first college semester. We threw her 529. It's not like me, but yeah, it's done. But it's stressful, man.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe I have an official college bound, classes chosen. She's not leaving the house. I'm not ready to kick her out of the nest.
Listen, let me tell you something. These adult kids, and I started writing my my thing for it. Adult kids are a whole nother level. You just unlocked another level of stress that you're not prepared for. Because now you can't make them do anything.
No.
You have to try to convince them. You think of other ways to tell them the right things to do without telling them the right things to do.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is called planting the seed.
Yes.
And hoping that it sprouts in the fertile ground that you have laid upon them to be, good people and make good choices. But the choice is theirs. Like, it's all up to them now.
Yep.
And that is scary. I mean, the first taste of that was her finally getting her driver's license, which I was very blessed to say she waited until she was 18. So I didn't have to deal with student driving at 15, learner's permit, limited hours, fighting with that. Well, who's going to know? Like, I know all the things that kids say, and I avoided all that. So thank you, Kayla. Thank you.
And the car insurance for
it's bonkers.
I remember when I had two teenagers with license at the same time. And when Ryan got his license, my wife was calling around shopping for insurance. And I had a rule for them that, all right, we got you a car, you paying your insurance at your job. They worked at Taco Bell, by the way. Shout out to OC. And she was calling around, and you know what they did? They slapped it on the policy that we had because it's a law that if you have a licensed driver, I was so mad at her. I was so mad at her. It literally was like $900 per month for them to have insurance.
And it's not even the best insurance because you're tweaking it so that you can keep it at 900 and it's not another outlandish number. But I will tell you this, although you probably feel that pain every once in a while when a story gets brought up about kids driving and you realizing Ty calling around. The second they got their license, the state lets them know, like, you have to be insured. So they would have found out either which way.
Stop trying to give her out.
I'm telling you.
Stop trying to give her out.
Just like me saying you did the right thing not running, it would have happened either which way. I promise you they would have found out. With Kayla, it was because she didn't get her license until she was 18. But the second she got her license, the DMV told us, they're like, your insurance will be notified because they consider these kids hours. It's so convenient how they consider them hours when, like, it costs us.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh.
But we can't make them go to school or we can't make them do the right things. But God forbid they don't do those things. We're the ones that are going to be in trouble for it. We're either going to have to pay for it with money or we're going to go to jail. So it's so frustrating to me how they do that.
It makes no sense.
I'm like, come on, man. Give me a break. No.
Life, all the rules and the twists and turns, if you try to make sense of it, you'll go crazy. So you just got to go with the flow.
Yeah.
You just got to do it.
Would you, now that you're a comedian and I'm a comedian, like I always say, like, I can't believe I have my degree. It's in communications, and that's what I do. I talk.
You communicate very well.
Yeah. And I threw out that law of diminishing returns. So my economics minor paid for. So with all that aside, like, it's crazy that I do this because I worked at campus activities. That was my internship. I could have been hosting
Yeah.
the comedy nights that we had. Oh my gosh, I used to get so excited about the free comedy nights as a student. We would have them on Fridays, and we had happy hour, right? So we'd all go out and go get drunk and hang out and eat and stuff. And then I'd be like, the comic is going to start at 8 o'clock. And they're like, we're out. Because we were in happy hour, like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd call a cab and drag them, Marlon, out of the bar. All my friends that were supposed to, big guys, their girlfriends, I drag them and be like, the cab's out there, we're going to the comic. And then we would show up at the comedy shows blasted.
Wow.
And I never thought in a million years that I would be doing that. Like, I could have parlayed that into a whole thing.
You could have had a head start.
You never know.
Yeah. Well, you may not believe this. May come to a shock to you, but I never got my degree. And so here we are.
But I have mine and we're here. So what do you say?
Hey, listen. Some of us are blessed to, fall into a situation, and I kind of fell into it.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to have the cool parties like you. I started, and then right when I was really getting into it, I started having kids. And so I had
Kids make college really difficult.
Yeah,
it's not the same. You can't go and do a keg stand when like your baby needs to be put down.
Thank you. And it was crazy. Like
evening.
he wanted to eat every day. Like
it's so extreme.
single
Diaper
day.
changes like several times a day. Like, can't you learn
Daily.
how to do it?
Like,
yeah.
wow. So that kind of derailed
Yeah.
what I was gonna do. But it works out.
It always works out.
It works out.
We're supposed to be doing what we're supposed to be doing, but I just I don't feel the need to force upon like a college degree. I don't think that the world is where it used to be, where it was like, unless you're going to be a lawyer, a doctor, a nurse, if you want to go into teaching, there's certain fields where, you got to hit the ground running and get where you need to be with your education level. But
Yeah.
for the average person that doesn't know what they're going to do, I don't think it's worth all that money.
You know what I like to do, just because I don't think people have a lot of understanding or of the options that they really have in life. Uh-oh, that scared me. Wow. I don't think people have a lot of the options, so I would like for us to bring people on with different occupations.
I love that.
So people get to see. Because a lot of times people don't know what's out there.
Yeah.
Like, I have a friend that's a funeral home director.
That
And
fascinates me.
to a certain degree,
I would do that.
He scared me a little bit. But, when you think of something like that, and they make great money, and somebody has to do it, and that could be something very lucrative for somebody out here. And that's what we need to do. We need to start doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because everybody can be a degreeless comic sex symbol that tours the country making hundreds of dollars. That's only for a few of us.
Yeah, it's a
Right.
select few.
Yeah, so
There's a lot of boxes in that to
Yeah.
check,
yeah.
Yeah. You would think
Like-
sex symbol would pay more though. That's the disappointing part.
Well, what happens with that, you got to kind of, it comes in seasons. So you got to wait for your season. And it's coming. I feel it. It's coming. And once it hit, then the sex symbolness really pays off.
Yeah, that's what I've heard
Yeah.
from other sex symbols.
Because, when you think about it, it's like Denzel, Idris, me, Shamar Moore, and their seasons hit.
Yeah.
So I think
it's a matter of time.
It's a matter of time.
Yeah. I always say that, right? I heard that saying where it's like, you ever be in a room and like everybody's popping off, like everyone's success is like right there, and you're like, wow, like there's a choice you can make in this. And most people, if you're like negative, you go, it's never me. It's never me. It's always somebody else, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. But I read or I heard on the internet somewhere that they said, when you're in the room and everybody's popping off, just know that you're at the same frequency. It's like popcorn kernels in the pot, right? You don't know when you're going to pop. Don't worry about everybody else popping. That means you're in the right environment. And it's just a matter of time before it's you. So your sex symbol theory definitely, makes sense. It can translate to that metaphor for
That's
sure.
what I'm talking about.
Everybody else is popping.
Hey, wait, hold on. It's not a metaphor.
It's reality.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
reality.
it's your reality.
The sex symbol thing is a reality.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
always fighting people off of you
Yeah.
when we're
Yeah.
at Publix.
Thank you.
And people are recognizing your dog over us. Foxy Brown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Foxy's cute though.
She's so cute.
Foxy's cute.
She has the cutest little outfits. She's always just dressed to the nines.
Well, we're gonna tell y'all the story. We ran into each other at Publix one morning. Like,
It's our local grocery store.
like, Catherine, what up? She like, hey, what's happening? So we talking, and this lady walks to us like, oh my God. So we both
And
just
we're
had
both looking at
shows,
each other like,
it's
I
gonna
want to
be me.
know who it is.
It's gonna be me.
Maybe you were at the Improv. Maybe you were at Side Splitters. And she goes, no.
Is that Foxy Brown?
She knew the handle on social media. Like, she was like, is it Foxy Brown? But
I love Foxy Brown.
That's it.
Yep.
She knew the handle. And me and him are standing there like, yep, that's the dog.
Yep.
Yeah,
My dog got more Instagram love than me.
at
Yep.
that moment.
She got her own page at I Love Foxy Brown. Yeah. So that happened.
Yeah,
If that don't humble you, nothing will.
laugh through. That's what this was all about. This is our therapy podcast of us just going through all the things that should make us cry ourselves to sleep at night, but we're just too hopeful.
You got to remember that we all. Wait, I forgot what I was saying. If y'all didn't notice, the power cut off. In real laugh through fashion.
Of course it did.
That's what happens to us.
I mean, like you always say, you just got to laugh through and just roll with it. So, we live in the lightning capital of the world, or at least
yes,
of the country. So,
Tampa Bay Lightning for a reason.
yeah.
Yeah. So we were saying that everybody goes through something. You gotta know that. So you gotta keep pushing through it and keep laughing through it. That's what we're here for. My name is Ron Hortman.
I'm Catherine Maloney.
Make sure you follow us on social media at Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Laugh Through Podcast.
And you can hear us where you listen to all of your favorite podcasts. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe.
No matter what,
Show
keep
some love.
smiling.
Yay. Bye. Thanks, Marlon.
You're welcome.